I'm Gareth Kane and welcome to Ask Gareth. The idea here is very simple. You ask me questions about corporate social responsibility or sustainability and I answer them. The clue's in the name. And the question this time comes from Rich in the US of A. And Rich asks, Dear Gareth, I've been working in environmental management for several years, but now I'd like to take my career up a level to implementing sustainability on a strategic level like you. Do you think a qualification would help me, and if so, which one? Well, Rich, that's quite a long. I can give you quite a long answer of how I got to where I am in terms of implementing sustainability at a strategic level. You see, I studied as an engineer, and I had this big interest in environment, as I thought about then, what we would now call sustainability. But I couldn't really make the two match up. I flirted a little bit with swapping to ecology, but it was too fiddly and analytical. I wanted to get out there and solve problems. So my engineering career and my environmental interests sort of moved in parallel most of the time. Then I took a career break, and I've told this story quite a few times, but I ended up in the far north of Russia in a place called Monchegorsk, where all around this town, is complete ecological devastation because of the huge nickel smelter that dominates the town. The sulfur emissions have just destroyed everything. And there's two things I got from that. One was just a big, massive, visceral impact on my psyche of this level of destruction that really drove it home to me what our economy is doing to the world. And secondly, I could actually see the source of the problem was an engineering problem, the nickel smelter, rather than an ecological problem, the damage. So I was able, just standing there, to see the source of the problem, and the penny dropped for me. And when I got back to the UK, I took up a job at Newcastle University, and I was looking at the life cycle engineering of very large products like process plant, like a nickel smelter, or ships or oil platforms, and seeing how to improve them environmentally. And I was doing that within a business context. Now, out of that work, I did get an MPhil, which I'm very proud of. In my second job in sustainability, I had to recruit and run a team to deliver sustainability projects for business. And I realised very quickly that it was easier to take an experienced project manager or business manager or engineer and teach them about sustainability than the other way around. Take somebody with a sustainability qualification and try and teach them about engineering or how businesses work or how to implement change or any of those things. So there was a bit of another penny dropping there, that many of the skills you will find coming from outside the sector. At that time, my engineering institute started taking sustainability seriously. So instead of flipping over to one of the other qualifications, I decided to go for my CEng, which is a very well respected qualification for an engineer. Then the sort of third phase of my career, when I decided to become a solo consultant, I had to learn a whole raft of new skills because my clients were asking me to do employee engagement and culture change and look at leadership and strategy. And none of that I'd come across within the sector. In fact, I ended up writing my book, The Green Executive, and my other book, Green Jiu-Jitsu, about different aspects of that because I had to learn it from scratch because nobody was really setting down tablets of stone on how these things should be done. So all of those skills I brought from outside sustainability and applied them to sustainability. So where does that leave us, Rich? Well, I'd like to make 3 quick points. First of all, a sustainability qualification is better than no sustainability qualification. I think everybody working in the sector should have one good, solid qualification that's well respected so people know what they're getting. Secondly, make that relevant to what you do, or as relevant as you can do. So if you're using environmental management systems, go and get one of the IEMA or equivalent standards to say you know what you're doing within that discipline. Likewise, if you're in waste, one of the the Chartered Institute of Waste Management membership, full membership level, and Chartered Waste Manager will mean that people know you know what you're doing. In Rich's case, looking at sustainability strategy, it gets a little bit more difficult. There are masters out there for sustainability leadership, and from what I see, they seem to be quite good, but I don't think you should fool yourself. You will not come out of one of those courses with all the skills you need. You will learn them on the job. Which brings me to my third point, which is track record is much more important than letters after your name. And any potential employer and potential client, whichever way you want to deliver the sustainability, Rich, will respect a track record of actually delivering in practice much more than a whole big massive list of qualifications. So the triple bottom line here is, Rich, get one good relevant sustainability qualification, but expect your key skills to come from outside sustainability. Okay, Rich, I hope that answers your question as much as I can in a few minutes. Everybody else, I'm sure everybody's had a different experience and different views of how they got where they are today. Please share and help Rich and others work their way through the maze. All advice, opinions are all very welcome in the comments below the video here. If you found this video useful, please share it with your networks on social media, etc, etc. And don't forget to go to www.terrainpharma.co.uk and sign up to the Low Carbon Agenda. That's my monthly email bulletin, which amongst a massive other useful things it does, it will give you a link to every edition of Ask Gareth into the future. And lastly, remember, whether you're making tiny incremental improvements to the environmental performance of your organisation or facilitating massive step change, it all counts. You're making the world a better place and you should be proud of that. Until next time, goodbye.